Boom. Masterclass Monday. Ask Uncle B. I'm going to jump straight into the topic of being able to have a different approach in between different departments, which means when you are speaking to let's say, for example, a sales team, I always go sales to marketing because that's the biggest difference in temperament, accountability. That's the biggest difference in energy levels, aggression levels, and the levels at which you attack problems. When it comes to accountability with a salesperson, it's very black and white. It's did you give the input to get the desired result? So, did you make the calls? Did you do the applications? Did you get the approvals to make the desired closing calls? And with marketing, accountability is slightly different because there's a lot of variables that are out of your control. As much as you control a lot of the inputs, there are CPIs and cost per thousand impressions and cost per conversions, landing pages. There's lots of other stuff that may affect the result. So I'm going to kick off with that. I know that you guys are still joining us. TikTok on, everything
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
Okay, everything's working, everything's sweet. Let me just double check my Zoom count here. The people are starting to join in slowly but surely. The way that these lives work for 90 minutes, you are welcome to shoot me a message, a question that you might have that you're currently processing or going through, something that you back with me, perhaps an area where you find yourself in a bit of difficulty, and I will go off the cuff and I'll answer the questions. So I would like you to please put it in the chat as soon as possible. By quarter past, 20 past, there's just too many questions. We go hard at 90 minutes, if there's enough questions, obviously, but I don't go over the 90 minutes. So 7:30, we'll cut it off. And I'm sorry if I didn't pick up your question, then I'll try and answer it next week. So you're welcome to shoot me a question now. I am ready.
Dorian
Ready.
is asking, what watch is that?
What watch? It's a tag. I've got it as a gift from an ex-friend, somebody that used to be a very good homie of mine, probably about 5 or 6 years ago. That's the last time we spoke. And there's a very nice story about every time I put this watch on, he gave it to me as a gift, my first ever tag. It was my first nice little watch. I love watches though. After he gave me that watch, he did something that was unfriendly like, and thereafter I haven't spoken to this dude again. But I love watches. This is just every day I put it on. It's just a reminder to be a good person and not to undermine people, and also not to take for granted how much value people actually are to each other, and intentionally not to hurt people. I'll hurt people. It happens. We're all human. No one walks on water. You'll end up hurting people, but as long as it's not premeditated or intentionally hurt people, then it's okay. And you just ask for forgiveness. Make sure you don't make that mistake again, and you carry on. Are the questions coming in, else?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you posting it on our group?
Yes.
Okay, seminar group. Let's go. First question. You can help me get a seven-seater. Uncle, do you think you can help me get a seven-seater? Of course, I can help you get a seven-seater. We literally, right before this live, I closed the deal on a Tiga 2024. It was done in about probably about 2 hours. That's how long the whole transaction took. 2 hours later, the customer's taking delivery tomorrow at 11. But all paperwork concluded, everything done and dusted, everything is sweet and happy. So definitely we can. Um, In-house finance. So the follow-up question was in-house finance. No, sir, we don't do in-house finance. It is it is a thing that I've tried to explore multiple times because there's lots of people that can raise the funding that can actually fund something like this. Unfortunately, it comes at a cost, brother. So, and normally the cost is like crazy, man. 27, I've seen 29% interest, 20% deposit down. It's almost unaffordable. And if you're at a stage where you need in-house finance, maybe you've made one or two mistakes that are still reflecting on your account. like the worst thing that I could do to you is just put you like deeper in a hole than you already are. Sometimes circumstances are of the nature that you don't have another option, meaning, you need a car. Maybe it's your only means of income, and there's nothing else that you can do. Explore it, but we don't do in-house finance. I've I've decided that I'm not going to explore that anymore. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel right. We go the conventional route. If you've made a mistake and there's an issue somewhere in your credit history or record, I'd rather give you my opinion, not my advice, but my opinion on how you can remedy that, how you can repair it, how long you should take before you reapply. I spoke to two people today where they were behind, they finished paying their debt like literally Friday, Monday they want to buy a car. And it's unfortunately not that quick. ITC still needs to update. We still need to make sure that your bank statement for 3 months, for 90 days, show that there's no rejected debit orders, everything was smooth. And normally 90 days, 90, so 3 months after you paid up your account and you brought it up to date, do we really have an opportunity to help you and get you approved? Before then, one too many apps, the banks tend to block you. It's even harder after that. Once they've blocked you, it's a real mission to get it approved. So just be careful, be wary. The best results that I've seen with customers that listen is bring it up to date, make sure it's all settled, you've got the paid up letters, wait 90 days so you can produce a 3 month consecutive bank statement, and then you do the application, it goes through, and it's fine. What time does the auction start? So the auction is tomorrow at 5:30. It's going to be on this TikTok live. And we've got some kick-ass cars tomorrow, man. We've got a 645. I think that video probably at 20 past 4, if I'm not mistaken, on TikTok. Yeah, should have been 20 past 4. So we've got a 645 BMW. It is absolutely kick-ass convertible. V8 starting at 80,000 rand, and we have a 330D E46. So those are super rare, man. I haven't even seen one in years. Never mind, having the opportunity to handle one and sell it. So that car came in on the trade-in as well. So the 330D, I think we bought it out from the client. He eventually decided not to trade it in, but we were after his car so badly, and we managed to get the car. So that car's also starting at 80. Then we have another shared utility bucky. We have a Kia Picanto EX. So the EX is a top spec. It has sunroof. It has alloys. I think that car starting at 70 as well. And we bought a 1998 Mercedes-Benz C200 from a very sweet old lady. She bought it from her father-in-law after he passed, and the vehicle has 168 on the clock with books, starting that car at 70, if I'm not mistaken, else 70, 70.
How much ago was it sold?
O shape C class C200. Yeah, 70,000. That's where we're starting that car. The BMW convertible, no sir, it's not yet sold. It will be auctioned off tomorrow at 5:30, 46, and it starts at only 80,000 rand. 80,000 rand for beautiful 645 convertible. 80,000 rand. Okay, 200 A6 in good condition. You want a drift car, don't you, Goose? Goose wants a drift car. 200 A6 in good condition. Those cars are super rare. The moment that they come up available, I think the best thing for you to do is join these clubs, because all these 300 ZX, 200 ZX, SX, they all belong to one or other Nissan club. So I suggest you join one of those clubs and just, in the chat room, just message them. I'm looking for. That's your best option. It will be very difficult to find one on the street, never mind from a dealer, especially a clean one. But I'm sure you'll be able to definitely source one. How do you join the auction tomorrow? Very simple. You need to show up. You need to be present at 5:30. I go digitally over the cars first, which means we go car by car. I show you many photos that I've got on the computer. I go through the details, ownership history. We go through service history, everything digitally. That's between 5:30 and 6. Then at 6 o'clock, just before 6, 5 to 6, we walk into the coffee shop and I walk around each and every vehicle, make sure that I show you all the faults that we picked up and the depots reported as best as I can. Not show you 100%, but I'll get very close. Check the aircon. I'll tell you if there's suspension noises, clutch, whatever is not lacquer with the vehicle. Then I'll present you how many owners it has. We'll do a latest check just to see was it a four owner, three owner, two owner, one owner, whatever it is, and I'll give you proof of that. Once we've described all the vehicles and you're on the line, the way that you bid is you phone me, physically phone me, 082 542 6659. So my cell phone number is part of my username. So it's Bobby Petcock and then my cell phone number. And then you present me with your offer. Last week we had an RXI Corolla run from 80 to 199. Yeah, that car was fire, man. People were fighting for that car. I was shocked. And you phone me, we take your name down, where you're from. You must be able to pay with an immediate EFT that same evening, so tomorrow evening. We unfortunately don't do any finance or trade-ins or anything like that on the auction cars. It's sold as an auction car as is. And after you make payment, then you can come and collect the vehicle tomorrow morning. There's some paperwork that we do with you, get your FICA docs, ID, drivers, proof of address, etc. While on the auction car, we don't really require the driver's license, but ID, FICA docs, proof of address, just to make sure you are a legitimate person that paid us, whoever paid us, the account details that the money came from, or invoice to that person. So very simple, very, very slick. It's not difficult at all. Are you gonna buy a G80? Man, we've had a few G80s. The challenge with those cars is like yourself here, Drashan, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. '07. The challenge is we've got like a book of customers that are looking for that specific car this long. So as soon as the car comes in, one or other salesperson will phone that consumer and say, listen, we just got this car in. There's the photos. We've got sort of like a incoming, and then we present it and the car like hardly, like never makes it to the floor. So the vehicle will be sold, bought in Cape Town, um, sold in KZN, for example, before the car even goes on the truck. So paperwork, everything is sent through. The car comes in, runs the process, check tires, rims, whatever the recon is that's needed or required on that vehicle, and then we just deliver it. That's the challenging part with the G80. They're so rare to find at a good price. Obviously, if you want to overpay, there's plenty. Cash that has hard cash. How do you deal with a cash buyer that has hard cash? Shape, So, a couple of things that you need to remember. We all belong to a lot of associations. We are a hyper-regulated industry. Any cash transaction that goes into our account. So if you pay the cash into our account, that's fine. There's a fee, if I'm not mistaken, access fee is 1.5%. So, for example, if you want to pay in 100,000 in our account, the fee is on you, so it will be 1.5% on top of that. And then we belong to FIC, Financial Intelligence Center. So we'll have to do a report. This is the person that paid in the money. If it's above 49,900 rand, so any cash deposits in our account has to be reported. It's a system that we go onto the day you fill out all the information of the consumer, and then you report that consumer. And then, if you're a good guy, they know. If you're a bad guy, then they'll investigate you. So hard cash in terms of someone bringing a bag and putting it on the table and saying, "Here, give me this car. Here's the money." That's against our company policy. We don't accept any hard cash whatsoever. It's number one, it's very dangerous, and number two is like, what am I going to do with that cash? I can't really go and buy a car with it afterwards because who will accept cash? So we all sort of move under the same regulation, under the same laws, bylaws. So hard cash, no. I've had a customer before. I've had two instances. I'll speak about it on camera. It's not a problem. The first instance was the gentleman bought a Range Rover Evoque. It was like a burgundy maroon color Range Rover Evoque. I think the selling price was either 599 or 699. It was a pricey car. and he wanted to pay 275 deposit, and then he pitched up with a backpack. So, hey, how's it, sir? Like a cool, cool. Yeah, by the way, here's your deposit. Boom, puts it on the table. I'm like, my goodness, bro, you're gonna give me a fucking heart attack. So APSA is that way. That like goes straight, turn left down the road to the left. Now, man, take the money. No, sir, thank you very much. Against company policy. So he went, paid it in. The report was done. That was the one instance. And then I had a very dodgy guy approach one of our salespeople on an M5, like a very expensive car. And the guy said to me, no, this guy wants to speak to you only, to Uncle Bobby. So I said, sure, no problem. If you give me a minute, I handled what I was busy with, went, greeted the gentleman. He's not a local gentleman, like heavy accent. Um, Nice to meet you, sir. What can I serve you with, and how can I train my salespeople so that you know they can handle whatever it is that you're throwing at them? He says, "No, come with me." So I walked to his car. He also had an M5. I said, "Okay, cool. Do you want to trade in this vehicle? Are we potentially going to do? What's your idea?" He says, "Hold on." Opens the boot, and there's this big bag of money. I'm going to give you this, and then you give me the M5. No questions asked. I'm like, holy shit, brother. You're like literally committing a crime. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you. The only way that we can do it, so go straight left there to the side. Abscess on your left hand side. I pay in the money. There's a 1.5%. So I've got my script. And the customer said, no, I don't want to do that. So, sorry, sir. I have to walk away. And that was that. So I think that was like 3, 4 years ago. It was very long ago. I mean, our communication with the customers is so direct, and so I think generally it covers all the questions within the first couple of minutes that we speak to you. We haven't had a situation like that where someone actually pays cash into our account in probably years, man, and even ask us for it. So great question. I'm glad you raised it, and that's how we handle it, and that's how the entire industry should handle it. I'm not sure if everyone does handle it that way, but that's how it should be handled. So cash is sweet, paid into the bank. Above 50, we have to report, and then it's just an online form that we fill in. The accounting team does it for us, and then they just report it. They upload the documents, all the proof of payments, everything like that. It goes into a central system, and that's the last we hear of it. But physical hard cash, no, hyper dangerous. I've heard of a friend of mine in Zambezi Street selling a really cheap car. Now people paying the money, 75 or 78,000 rand, whatever the amount was, and then a couple of minutes later, some other people come and ask for the same amount, armed. So I'm like, fuck, that must be like a job. It must be a hit. They must be working together. You can't prove it, but I mean, you're taking a risk upon yourself to accept cash money on your floor. Never mind that, you're putting your staff at risk. Can you imagine some armed dude comes in there's like 15 of us in one office on top of each other. We don't need that drama or that shit. So, yeah, if you're in the industry, um, get it paid into your account, pay the fee on top. Sometimes, I remember the one customer that said to me, "But you're charging me 1.5% on top of the amount. That's not fair. I brought the exact amount. I'm going to pay it into the account." He said, "Sir, I understand it's not fair, but then pay it into your account and do the EFT for the right amount. What do you want me to do?" So there was one of those debates. But yeah, be careful out there. It's very, very dangerous. It's really dangerous. Okay, Liger TSI. Liger TSI got two 2025 at Tiga. I pay 5.9 for a new one and 6.5 for a demo. Why there is a difference for the same car? So great question, brother. Off the top of my head, because I haven't seen the contract that you signed or the deal structure. One of two reasons. So your ticket that you pay 5.9 on the new one and 6.5 on the demo. So either on the one vehicle, just go and double check your contract, but it should be in there. Either on the new car that you're paying 5.9, it was taken over a longer period of time, which means by the sounds of things, it's probably like a 96-month contract versus probably an 84-month contract. That's the one variation. So double check your account, your contract that you signed. The second option is perhaps there is a residual value on the new car, and I'm not saying that you weren't paying attention or the F&I didn't do his or her job. It's just very exciting on the day, and perhaps it just went over your head and you weren't paying attention when they were explaining that part. So it's either longer term or there's some sort of a residual structure on your contract. That's why there's a difference. Even though the new one is cheaper, most probably the demo one will be for a shorter period or with less residual. So you could have a new one go up to 40% or 0%, where the demo was only maybe at a 30%. That's what the bank, decided that they were going to give you. How much can I get for my X5 E53 2006 white 193 on the clock? So the best way to answer that question will be shoot all the details to me on WhatsApp with complete details, photos front, back, side. License disc is very important because we go into the history of the vehicle, double check whether the vehicle, ever belonged to insurance company, etc. And then I'll be able to present you with an offer. And also, what engine does it have? Because those came out in a couple of variations. Could be a 50i, it could be a 30D, it could be a 40D, it could be a 50D. It depends on the spec. Okay. How did you come up with the name Mac Motors? It sounds unusual. I've always wondered. Engineer at Electrics. So, very cool question. Mac is my father's nickname. And we come from the southern part of Bulgaria. That's where I was born and I went to school there, standard one and standard two. But it's very close to Macedonia. And his name is Dimitri. The nickname in our language is Mitko. Mitko. That's like I think in Afrikaans it's called a verkleinsnaam. I'm not sure what.
Verkleinen.
Verkleinen? No.
Verkleinen.
Verkleinen
Yeah.
Mitko. And then in English, I'm not sure what the word is in English. So because there's so many Dimitris in South Africa, it's a very common name. So which one? The one from Macedonia. Met Mak. That's how we came up with the name. Uncle Bobby, I'm 22 and want to buy a car, but I'm scared on the debit order. Okay, so I'm 22 and want to buy a car, but I'm scared on the debit order. Joburg MPD, Metro Police Department. So let me try. There was no follow up here. Let me try and understand your question. I'm 22 and want to buy a car, but I'm scared of the debit order. So, brother, the debit order is just going to always be there. At 22 years old, what I would suggest is go and think about what it means to own your own car. So, on a white piece of paper in the middle, pros and cons. So, good and bad. Because there is bad, it's not all good. You need to weigh up in your current situation whether the good outweighs the bad. And the bad is the debit order is never going to be sick. It's never going to be late. It's never going to be off work. It's never going to forget. It's never going to strike. I found this customer this morning. I said to him, bro, you should have been signing already for your work. And I can hear this big commotion. He says, Uncle B, we're striking here. It's a mess. And I'm part of management. I need to contain the situation. I'm like, just strike with, bro. He laughed his ass off. He said to me, no, I'm not striking. I need to make sure that we end the strike. So I said, give the people what they want. So the bank's debit order will never, ever go on strike. So having said that, if you use your brain more than your heart, especially on your first car, and you don't allow your friendship circle to bully you into a decision so that you please them. And you go and think about it very carefully. So, what's my budget? How much am I prepared to pay per month? Can I actually maintain this vehicle? Can I pay the insurance? You can't cancel the insurance. I had a Golf 8 customer last week that asked me, who can I go to sell this vehicle? It was in a massive accident. I said, well, go to your insurance and let them write it off or whatever. It could be I made a huge mistake. I shouldn't have bought the car from wherever he bought it. Like, I need your advice. I need your help. And unfortunately, the young man slipped up in the area where he was trying to buy the car to fit in with his friends. And sometimes it happens, man. For a minute, your friends are sort of ahead of you in income. Ahead of you meaning, perhaps you went to study or you went to college, you went to the police department. It's not a high-paying job initially, and then someone just went straight into work, got a bang of a job, and he's starting to make money. And now he's flexing with, let's say, for example, a brand new Polo R line. Now, in order for you to keep up, because you grew up together, you're from the same area, you're from the same situation, you want to reach up and then at least match it, go one above. And that's where most young people fail. As long as you remember that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and you'll get there eventually. And the car is not everything in life. Maybe you're going to find your happy place. But as long as you remember not to try and flex up and put yourself into trouble, the debit order is not going away. So if you can close your eyes and say, okay, I earn, and irrelevant of what the bank says, they give you 30% of your gross, which means on 20,000, it could be 6,000 per month, but I want to be at 6,000 Rand with insurance. Then you need to investigate, okay, what's the car that has some sort of a warranty, service plan? Can I maintain this vehicle when it comes out? And how much will insurance cost me? We had a youngster the other day that actually declined the deal and he said, Bobs, I can't afford this car. He was buying a TSI R line, had his license for like something stupid, man, like 3 or 4 months. The guy just got his license, lives in a relatively high risk area, and the installment on the vehicle, on the Polar R line, was about 6,500 Rand. And his insurance was 3,500 Rand. So he's going to end up paying 10K a month, which is like almost half his salary, to be able to flex with a Polar R line. And we went everywhere. Just 6 months old license. It's not going to get better. You can jump from insurance to insurance company. It's going to be expensive no matter where you go. So bear in mind, get an insurance quote first, before you commit on the vehicle, because sometimes you get a surprise. Hope that helps you, bro. Is it 330i E90 a good buy for a first car? Giggles. So it depends what your income is, man. But the first thing that comes to mind is those 330s were still a straight six motor. So fuel consumption on those compared to the G that we have today. I think I'm driving a 330 Mzansi. Yes, I am. That's what we bought just now before we moved over to the studio. So the 330 new generation is a four-cylinder twin scroll turbo, like latest tech, best gearbox, very fuel efficient. Versus the E90 330. If you don't do a lot of mileage, it's a cool car. It's a fun car. It sounds nice. It's got nice naturally aspirated torque. It's not the fastest, but a couple of things. Is it modified? Just make sure that you can do all your checks on that specific vehicle before you go forward and buy that car. But as a first car, quite heavy on fuel, if I must be honest. It's not the lightest on fuel, but a cool car. If you can, if you can find a nice 320D E90. Elsie is driving one as a company car. What's wrong? Are you awake? Were you
Hard to
sleeping?
say. Nee,
Um,
ek was net so slap dat.
so she's got a lot of miles on her car. Um, we've got a lot of buyers out there on the road that we love the 320D. That engine is, man, it's bulletproof and it gives you like 5 or 6 Ks a liter. So for a first car, I'd rather go 320D. But if you want the 330i and it's relatively well priced, just be prepared for the fuel bill. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Your opinion on a 330D E90 versus a 330i E90 as a first BMW. So I'll go definitely 330D. They're very scarce and they retain their value very, very well. If you can find a nice clean 330D, promise you now, you're going to drive that car 5 or 10 years. If you like power and torque and you like just not paying a lot of money on fuel, great consumption, lots of torque. It's like incredibly strong, and they look cool. That's the car. Go for that. That Ford Everest 2017 with 180 on the clock. In what condition is it? Rowan Ruru. So great question, man. I think we posted that video on Sunday morning, if I'm not mistaken. No, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday. It was this weekend, and we reviewed the car. I think it was on Saturday morning that we reviewed the vehicle. Normally, a car like this will always sell to the trade, which means, especially in this price range, we'll just load it on the dealers online group and we'll sell it to a dealer that prefers the high mileage cars. That's why you never see these on our website. You never see them advertised by myself. Now, having said that, when that vehicle came in as a trade-in, that car is so clean. It's new, very good service history, lots of nice extras. It's got the snorkel. It's lifted a little bit, so you can see the guy loved this car, took great care of it, maintained the vehicle, and I'm not scared of those. Those engines are very strong. They can go 400,000 k's, no problem if you maintain it. Obviously, if I remember correctly as well, that's a manual, so it's less risky. Mind you, on this model already, the gearbox issues that Ford had seem to be sorted out, so they're very safe. But yeah, 180,000 Ks. Considering, I think we're selling that car for 239.9. What can you buy for 239.9 that competes even remotely with a car like that? And the answer is nothing. It's like hard to compete against that. How big is your sales force at the moment? So, Chuckling Pluto. Chuckling Pluto. Let me see your profile picture. Okay, Chuckling Pluto. How big is your sales force at the moment? And what is the ratio of staff leaving and coming through? Being a salesperson is not for everyone. Once you understand it, you know you love it or not. So that's a flippin' kick-ass question. Right? That's a high quality question. So currently, as it stands today, we have 22 salespeople. Our staff retention is the highest in the industry. I don't lose salespeople. I hardly ever lose salespeople. And when we lose salespeople, it's always on me. So I'll explain to you the process and how I come up to that answer. If you manage expectations upfront, very, very early, really, really well, you end up hiring the right person almost every time. The challenge that most sales leaders have is, including me, I've had this for many years. So I'm going to give you lots of mistakes in like a couple of minutes. So when a salesperson leaves me, it's like a it's like a it's like a death in the family. It's fucking rough on me because when a person leaves, that person has actually left a couple of months ago, a couple of weeks ago. So why haven't I seen it? Did I not notice a change in behavior? If I notice a change in behavior, this is not me speaking from experience. Why didn't I approach that person and have an open and honest conversation? And the answer that always comes to mind is, but I'm looking after 180 people, 170 people. At one stage, we were 260 people when we did wholesale and lots of drivers, lots of buyers on the road. So how did I fail this person that he or she felt that some other leader will lead them better to their end goal and their destination? So that's the first part. The more important part is sales leaders sell the dream, okay, and hardly ever the nightmare. What this means is very easy for me to recruit you on camera now. How many people are watching? Can you see?
180.
So there's 180 people. Here's how I'm going to recruit you that you fail, and then I'm going to recruit you that you succeed. It's a very different language pattern, and I want you to pay attention. If you're a sales leader out there, hopefully, you can save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of gray hair, and hopefully save other people time that they've wasted at your company. So to recruit you on the dream, I'll interview you, whether it's online, in person. What's your name? My name's John. What's up, John? Nice to meet you. Take a seat. Pleasure having you here. So, John, here's how it works in our company. Do you see this dude here? His name's Eddie. Eddie wears 40,000 Rand LVs. He's got Gucci's. He's fucking crazy. He's killing it. He sold 32 cars last month, 33 the month before, 29. He's consistently kicking ass. He's killing it. He drives an M4. He's got this property, that property. He's got a Golf with the biggest sound system under the sun. This is multi six-figure income. This is his place. Okay. If you want to be like Eddie, if you do, join me and I'll help you get there. Super duper Super duper easy. I've probably recruited half of you on the call. The problem is because I didn't manage expectations up front, nice and early and properly. Once you come in 2, 3 months down the road, you're working from 7, doing training with me for an hour. You're going on 6, half past 6, 7, whatever time delivery. You're going out to Krugersdorp. You're going out to Katu. You're going all these places. 3 months down the road, like, Pops, I'm barely making a living. I'm working my butt off. I want to be like Eddie. Like, you sold me Eddie. When am I getting Eddie's salary? But I mean, you're not as good as him. What do you mean? You told me I could be like Eddie. I also want to wear LV shoes and drive a freaking A4. Like, where's my info? When is it going to be my turn? Well, are you as good as him? No, but I mean, you told me if I join you, that those are the conversations that I've had many of these things, like lots. Until one day I decided I'm going to sell both the dream and the night. And I'm going to sell the dream for 60 seconds, and I'm going to sell you the nightmare for at least 10 minutes. And here's what that looks like. I'm going to present Eddie. I'm going to show you this is possible. It's not only him. There is Eugene, there's Matlati, there's Louis, there's Vusi, there's you. Who else is there? Joseph. These are the guys in my team. These are 15 plus players every month consistently. They sell 15 vehicles every month consistently without fail. Okay. So in order for you to get there, and then I switch over to the nightmare. In order for you to get there, here's a couple of things that you need to understand. In this industry, your income doesn't do this. Your income is flat for a very long time, 6, 12, 18 months, and then it does this, then it explodes. And the reason why it's flat for a very long time is because we all operate in the gray. There's no black and white on sales. And what that means is each and every lead has a different story. We're consulting for a company. I hope you answer. Like, salute. We spoke this morning on WhatsApp. He's got a manufacturing company, which is like, to me, it's fascinating. Like, there's no change every day. You know how many XYZ products need to come out of that machine? He sent me, it's got like the coolest setup ever. You know how many people need to operate that machine? You know what time that machine must start. You know what time it must end. You know when the machine is due for a service. You can plan. Like, Austin, if we bump up your sales, when we help you bump up your sales and you go like crazy high sales every single month, can we increase production to work 3 shifts? Easy. 2 shifts, easy. So that's the black and white part of production. The gray area in sales is the gentleman that reached out earlier said, what do I do? Why is this one 5.9, this one 6.5? Well, you have to sort of play investigator a little bit and go back in time and see what was the structure on the first car, what was the structure on the second car, how do they differ? That's why there's a difference there. Now, fast forward 3 years down the road. If the vehicle that was new and is paying 5.9 for that car is due for a trade, the vehicle that is paying 6.5 for, that's a used vehicle, and that car's trading value will be lower than the new one because it paid off less. What is the mileage on that? Maybe put one to work on Uber and one to Bolt. What is the mileage? So the settlement is going to be different on the two variations of vehicles. The book values are different. One's a 25, one's a 24. The mileage maybe on the 25 is a lot higher than the demo model, than the 24 model. So each and every transaction is great. You have to be patient in sales, especially in our industry, car sales, to be able to be around a team that is open enough to share each and every transaction with each other. And this morning, I asked Elsie, please, can you start coming in for a couple of days? I want to record the actual sales meeting. So exciting stuff, man. For those of you that are in sales, especially in our industry, I'll ask her now when it's going live, but when the video is posted, it's like a 45-minute sales meeting that I do in real time. There's no filter. I'm not trying to be prim and proper. Now and then there's a F-bomb. It's like almost like a UFC fight in my sales. So each and every transaction is different. Now, for 6 months, if you're in an environment like mine, In 6 months, you can almost predict what I'm going to say, how you're going to handle this objection, how you're going to handle this challenge that you have with the deal, and what the person that's actually presenting me with the challenge is going to say. So the moment that that happens and you get a lead and the customer says, I've got an XYZ car, I owe this much too much, this is the offer that I received, I want to buy this XYZ vehicle. You already know you can't buy this car because the equity will be over 180 or 140%, not that, over the retail value which is recommended. This will decline. Do you have X amount of deposit? Upfront. Boom. Now I don't, sir. Perfect. I suggest we go on this vehicle, and here's why. So that takes a minute. Think about it this way. If you go and study to become a doctor or a lawyer or some sort of a professional, ambach, tradesman, you're going to have to go and study a couple of years before you are theoretically ready to handle that task. You are not ready practically yet. That's why you've got, I think it's called a Zuma year. If you're a doctor, you go public hospital and then you go and work like 29 hours a day. You never sleep. That's all the series are made of those interns. And the reason is you need to be around situations all the time because just like a car, when there's a surgery, everybody's built different. You need to understand if you are opening up and repairing a tendon on the shoulder of a guy that's a professional rugby player versus a guy that just, maybe got a bit drunk on the week and fell over and hurt himself. It's a different approach. This guy's more muscular, that guy's less muscular. It's a different approach. So when it comes to selling the nightmare, and this is a conversation, this is like legit how I hire you. When it comes to selling cars, you need to be around variations of problems and solving of those problems before you are ready to solve at the level that it is ready. That's the difference. That's when you rock up to work with Alvis or Gucci's in an M4 with a sunroof like a boss, or a 1.6 high velocity drop suspension with all this crazy music. His car looks like $1 million. But the reason why he outsells you and he outperforms you is just he can, to boil it down to the simplest level, he can solve more problems than you and he outworks you. Even if you catch up on the work, he makes 200 calls, you make 300 calls. Unless you can solve problems at the rate that he can solve problems and handle the stress that are also attached to the problems that you solve, you unfortunately, at one stage, and unless it's explained to you that way, at one stage, climbing the mountain looks impossible because you're looking at the mountain there. It's like Everest is fucking high, and it's everybody froze on the way up. Where the correct leader should say, "Don't look up, look down." Okay, let's make the first step, then the second step, then the third step, and they teach you all these skills each and every day. There's a new skill set being developed. On that topic, we've got a bright, bright young man. His name is Jada. He was part of our cadetship program, and I had a bit of a rough meeting with him. Unfortunately, that specific one wasn't recorded, but I'll give you the scenario. And the meeting was, Jaden's such a good guy. He's a sweet guy. He's a youngster. Like his parents bought cars from me and from the other managers, and please, he needs to work in this environment. So cool. So ran the cadetship program. He qualified. He like on his tests almost aced everything. And because he's such a good human, he's got a soft heart. It will not serve him well in sales. And the reason for that is he's not greedy for himself. Now, before you switch off, I'm going to explain to you what that means to me. So it was last week Tuesday. I remember exactly when it was. He had a customer approved, validated, sent him rather, all the details of his vehicle. It's like a couple of months old, very low mileage, very new car, very popular car. Super easy to price that car correctly the first time. We hardly ever get it wrong. And because the mileage is so low, whatever we price, unless the customer like really didn't disclose a major defect on the vehicle, it almost never changes. So I approached him. I said, JD, brother, what happened with this client? It's approved, validated. We're going through my live stream. I'm going deal by deal, line by line. Well, sir, everything's fine. We're going to end up doing the deal today. So why today, bro? What if today never came? Well, I saw George and Mossy were busy setting up for your auction in the coffee shop, so I didn't want to disturb them as they looked, very busy. There were cars coming out, cars going in. It was quite a rough situation, so I didn't want to disturb them. So he didn't want to disturb the guys that need to price the vehicle because they seem busy. So I said, JD, listen to me, bro. Do they get commission on this car? No. Okay. Did you overpromise and underdeliver on your customer? He looks down. I said, answer me. He says, I did. So why did you overpromise and underdeliver? No, sir, because I said I would give them the correct amount today. Sir. Okay. But he only sent it 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, we go home at 6, 2 hours. But sir, that was the time when Ossie and George were busy. I said, cool. Do you think if you sell 16 cars or 6 cars or 60 cars a month, does that do anything for Mossy's family and in terms of his bank account and income? No, sir, he doesn't earn commission on my commission. It's me. I said, great, valid point. That means he's not sensitive to what you are. You are sensitive to what you control. He's sensitive to what he controls. Now, if you don't upload the car, how will he price it? But they seem busy. So with a youngster especially, it takes a minute for them to click. And I said, okay, cool. Right. Do you agree right in the beginning when I started teaching you this industry? Do you agree with me based on auto trader data? This is data. It's not me thumb sucking this out of thin air that a consumer applies with 4 to 6 deals. Can we agree on that? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. This is a very, very high scoring customer. Do you agree that he will approve at almost any dealer that he goes to for the type of car that he wants? I agree. I said, okay, cool. Having said that, what if the Jaden or the John or the Jimmy or whoever else he also applied with, they were a little bit greedier than you for the price on his trading, and they gave him a price you didn't? Is there a possibility to lose the deal? Yes, sir, there is. Okay. Is the customer better off buying from us or from a competitor? From us because of the great care that we take. He knows our processes. He's in it every day. Okay. Are you doing the customer a disservice by allowing yourself to feel bad because Moss and George are busy not getting the customer the trading price? I feel very bad. Okay, sweet. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to phone the customer now. We're going to apologize. We're going to explain exactly why we didn't give him a price yesterday in front of 12 people in our meeting. Phones in. This is the story. This is the price. My bad, sir. I failed you. I told you I'll give you a price the same day. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. May we continue with these numbers? Sure, Jay. JD, 100% we can continue. Customers have done the deal. But now I'm teaching that young man a valuable skill, one of 110 that he still needs to learn in order to become an Eddie. Now ask him, like right there, Eddie's sitting here, he's sitting 2 chairs away from me. Do you think Eddie would have given, what, whether Mossy and George are busy preparing our auction or not, if he has a trading price? He says, like, he'll go and fetch them from, he'll literally go and fetch them from there, like, climb out of here, you'll get his cadet to park in the cars. Give me a price right now, I need a price now, give me a price now. Is that what he would have said? Yes. Do you want to earn its income? Yes, and more. Great answer. You need to mimic that. So you need to become greedy with the things that you can control as a salesperson in that present moment of time so that you can get the desired outcome in terms of serving your customer, over promising and over delivering. Cool, cool. We happy, sweet, sweet. First bump, let's go. Let's take over the world together. And I know that under no circumstances, unless George is having a freaking seizure, that he will wait for George to finish having a seizure and then get a price. He'll say, George, stop shaking, price my car, and then carry on shaking, carry on with what you're doing. That's an extreme version of the situation, but that's why salespeople jump from dealership to dealership because they are sold the dream without the night. They are sold the wonderful result without the failure, without the process, without the road that you need to walk and the steps that you need to do in order for you to hit whatever number it is that you're trying to. Man, I spent a lot of time on that one, but that was an important one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. How many people left because of my long ass answer?
192.
So a few June. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Uncle Bobby, can you give me an estimate on the new Vivo GT 2025? Want to sell my very Franklin, mate. Front, back, side, license list, full description, full spec with the mileage on my WhatsApp, and I'll give you an accurate price. I've got a Golf 60 SR with 300,000 odd kilometers. Is it worth to trade in or keep it? It's a difficult question, man. 300,000 Ks, if it's very well maintained, is it worth it to trade it in? What are you going to get for it? Maybe do a couple of soft checks with a few dealers to see what they're willing to pay you on the vehicle. But if it's like a stupid low price, you know what you have. To me, 300,000 kilometers sounds extremely high. This car's got problems, but it might not have. So if I'm paying you, let's say 70,000 Rand for a car like that, is it worth more to you? Because you know you trust the car, you maintain it well, good service history, cam belts done, a couple of times, everything looks normal, there's no funny noises, and perhaps keep it or trade it in if you want to go upgrade. And Bob's, what is your opinion on a 2015 Honda Accord 2.4 I Auto with 65,000 Ks for 150? So 2.4 Auto Accord with 65,000 Ks 2015. The 2.4 is slightly heavier on fuel. It's a bigger displacement engine, but 150, man, that's really low. 65,000 Ks, if it's got good, decent service history, that's literally a car that you'll drive until you retire. Those things they go forever. Today we declined one. We tried to trade it in. It had a piston slack. So when you start the car, it sounds like a timing chain. And as the car gets warmer, it almost fades away until you put it into high RPM. But I'm talking this car had like also on a Accord 2.4. It had like very high mileage, 300,000 plus. And maybe, the guy didn't service it regularly. The service book wasn't up to date 100%. But if it's got service history, there's like nothing family size that you can buy for 150. What are you going to buy for 150 with that mileage? None. The closest will be you probably buy a Vivo that doesn't have the luxuries in it, for 150 that drive double, maybe triple the mileage. So that's a good find, man. If the car is clean and it's sweet and it's got service history that you can prove without a 5 or 8 year gap in service history, that's a good buy. My mom is looking for the best car under 350. So Nardo Porsche. Send me a WhatsApp later, and then I've got a few questions. So, mom, does she need an SUV? Does she need a hatchback? Does she need an auto? Does she need a four-wheel drive car? But 350 for a lady, I'm just like thinking about my mom. She loves the Chevy 4, the cameras, um, even a few motors to drive. She loves the motor. So around that area, especially ladies, they enjoy the big screen with the reverse cameras and with when you turn, there's a camera in the mirror. So they find it quite cool. They are a little bit heavy on fuel. It's a 1.5 inch. The turbo is nicer because it's got power. The non-turbo is a bit more sluggish, but 350 for a lady, for your mom, very good decision. You can go for one of those. It's low risk. They're a little bit SUV, so she can jump a few pavements. She can hop over a few potholes. It's not going to be the end of the world. So not bad. One of those scores will work. Okay, great. Personally, I'm aware of a few people have dismissed. Okay, so which one am I answering here?
So, because of the word count, you can't really do one comment. So we need three.
Okay, so he's got three questions.
One question, just 3 times.
Okay, so one question with three different comments. Okay, let's go for it. Jock Pulser. Great. Personally, I'm aware of that a few people got dismissed and the case is going on for a year and just reached arbitration. When employers like yourself ask, have you been dismissed? What kind of answer would be acceptable? I'm well aware you see things differently to other employers. Okay. I understand most employers will just discredit you immediately because of a dismissal. So So that's a good question, man. And it differs from, unfortunately, it differs from personality to personality. It differs from background to background, the way you were raised, what you've seen in your life, what you've done in your life. Like I had one of my best ever salespeople had a criminal record. It's, he told me up front, he's worked in the industry. He made a very bad mistake about years ago. Got a criminal record. Didn't end up in jail. He paid a massive fine. It was a mess. It wasn't a lucky one. So before we even reached out for the interview, we do a background check on all the people, and this was raised. So when it came time for the interview, I asked him about it. Now he doesn't know that I found probably the five, six people that were directly connected to that specific case. I knew exactly what he had done, how he had done it, and how he rehabilitated himself out of that situation. He made a mistake. It was like a 50,000 rand move that he pulled, and he made a mistake. So I asked him, okay, cool. I picked this up. Can you explain to me what happened there, why you did it? So he said to me, Akabi, thank you for bringing it up. I was young, I was dumb, I made a very big life mistake and a bad decision. I paid for it, and this is why I did it. This is how I did it. This is how I paid for it, and I've got a clean slate, but it's on my record. I'm glad that you picked it up. Whether or not this interview goes well or bad, south, north, west, whatever, I want you to know that I didn't lie to you. I presented you with the facts, and it's on you to make the call. The guy worked with me for 3 years. He never set a foot wrong. Never set one foot wrong. Got offered a big management position at a different industry, at a different company. He left. Maybe we'll work together in the future. So that's one variation. The other variation is, remember, a proper HR team will phone and have another HR person speak their language. Okay. Now, that's what's very important for you. If something happens, to never burn a bridge, never go off on the wrong foot, and never mess up your future. Because if you shout and scream and you're unfair and you this and you call people names and you speak behind their back and you try and make trouble for them down the road, they're not going to present your case in a positive light. We're all humans. We're all emotional. We all have this thing, right? So if that comes up, the best policy will be honesty. So this is what happened. I was dismissed. I made this mistake. This is why I feel that the mistake happened. Here's the three areas that I didn't think about because my brain's still developing. It's not that it's developed now, but I'm getting there and I'm learning every day. This is what I did. This is what I should have done. And these are the three steps that I intend to go and correct whatever is the mistake was. And if the person interviewing you is open-minded enough to see, because you can almost not fake that. You can fake skills, you can even fake a diploma. I've got a diploma in IT. I've had a guy that he said to me, I've got a diploma in IT. Come play fucking YouTube playlist. Like you're an IT specialist. Okay, you've got a diploma in IT. Play YouTube music, play this playlist. I want to hear for the next 45 minutes. This and this. DJ Scooter Bruce. It's Saturday, boy. He doesn't know how to do that. So you can fake that. But your genuine intent, whether you are remorseful or not, you can't fake it. You can try, but the person, if he's good with body language, he can read people, he'll get whether or not it's really a mistake. And listen, man, at the end of the day, no one walks on water. Things happen to you, not things happen for you, rather, not to you. Best thing to do is just be honest, and then the decision lies with the decision maker, rather than to try and pull a move and deceive, and then you've made this horrible fire this side. And once the fire settled down, they'll figure out where you work. It's very easy to figure out where you work. Anyone that has access to any sort of ITC system can take your employer immediately, because you get registered with SARC, you get registered with a union. We belong to MIPCO, Motor Industry Bargaining Council. If you start working for me, we have to register you with a union. We have to pay UIF. We have to pay all these things on your name. simple and easy to see where you work. So if you've made a big boo boo there, and then you lie about it here, it can, and that's the best part, right? 12, 18 months later, you're sort of blending in with the rest of the crowd. You're not acceptable, you're not shining. This person gets a sniff, but listen, you called me this at arbitration, and you swore me and you sent me all these nasty WhatsApps, and you lost the case for theft, for stealing. I'm going to send your new employer an email that says, listen, by the way, Johnny, with an ID number, whatever it is, did you know that he actually stole from our company and we fired him? No, I didn't know that. You end up in hot water and they start looking at you from a different lens. You don't want that. So I suggest it's the best policy. Listen, mate, I've made a mistake. I've done this and this and this. You know, Here's how I corrected it. Very sorry. I want you to know I'm upfront about it. And I'm going to put my tail off to make sure that I don't fail this way again. And I'm not going to do anything that's XYZ. Hope that helps you. 22 Mahindra pickup S11 Auto. Is it reliable, cheap to maintain, fuel economy? So those buckies are awesome. They are very reliable. They're relatively inexpensive to maintain, and the fuel economy is good. But it's a rugged buck. It's a proper workhorse. I really like them. We like selling them. We sell hundreds of motors, new and pre-owned, and generally they don't give me trouble. I've had trouble with one on the diff that had about 105 or 6,000 kilometers on the clock. It was just early 100,000 kilometers. It had a diff problem. It had my injury warranty. We sent it in. They replaced the diff, and that was it. It just took a couple of days to get the part. That was like something, that popped up on the major. But generally, no, man, we don't really have any issues with it. You can go for a major. You sell trucks. I need a closed body 8 ton or 4 ton. Rudy, thanks for reaching out, brother. No, I don't. I don't know that market. I don't understand that market well enough to go and hunt them down. Today, I was offered an 8 ton closed body truck for 650, and a BMW 335 E93. So 335 convertible E93 and the truck. The price that we were apart on the BMW was 10 grand, so we could have probably met in the middle. But the truck, I said to him, brother, I don't know how to price this truck. Help me. Like, you are the truck guy that you had offered. He says, yeah, I got offered 650. 650 on a truck. He says, yeah, from two people. So then it must be worth 650 if two people offer. While I was doing the homework on the truck, he just messaged me, said, Uncle B, I had to sell the truck. Yeah, I got 650 for it. So maybe we continue on the BMW, which was a bit of a sour relief for me because I don't understand that industry as well as I should to comment. But sorry, God, thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate you, man. What would you say is the better choice? The decimal or the kilometers on the clock? It just seems like you're not really too concerned as long as it looks good and nothing visibly wrong with the car. What do you think? What do you say is better, the test model or the kilometers on the clock? So I think your approach on the question, Desiree, is that I concern myself more with the way that the car looks and visibly there's nothing wrong with the car rather than the mechanical part. And I can understand why you saying that and why you're raising that question. And thank you for bringing it up. Perhaps if I explain our process before you see a vehicle being reviewed by myself, then you'd understand better. So our buyers on the road that go and purchase vehicles are like almost Red Seal mechanics. They go through a very intensive training program. We have probably the biggest workshop in Africa. Our depot is 19,000 square meters. That big, long ass building that you guys see behind us, next to the rib scratcher section, where Elsie sends all her cars she test drives. That's workshops with lifts side by side with many mechanics inside. So when a vehicle is purchased outside, it's purchased by someone that is very mechanically inclined. We do extensive long term. There's a couple of procedures that we run on each and every vehicle, including our OB checks. OB, plug it into the car's computer. It's on an app, gives us error codes. Today's cars are scary, man. It drives perfectly fine. There's 300 error codes, mostly for low battery voltage. But anyway, Then once the vehicle comes in, the first place that it goes to is a condition report. That condition report is now done by a Red Seal mechanic before I even touch the car. It goes on a lift, and there's a number plate to number plate check that compares the PDF, so the buyer's report versus the actual vehicle. So there's a little bit of leeway that we allow the buyers because everyone's human, we make mistakes. Monetary value leeway up and down. If that buyer, I'll give you what the leeway is for us. If that buyer describes the vehicle with 20,000 Rand with the reconditioning cost, including rims, tires, service, etc., and is 6,000 Rand down or up, it's okay. The moment that they are 7,000 Rand down, which means the recon is only 12,000 Rand instead of 20, that buyer immediately has to come for extra training. Because if you are over describing a car, I'm pricing it with 20,000 Rand recon, I can potentially lose your car to a competitor. For example, I gave you a subject to view of 210 to 220. There's 20,000 Rand recon. My price will go 200 because it's 220 less to spend. Whereas if there is only 10,000 Rand recon, I would offer you 210. I hope you're following. Now, if we don't get that right, we lose to a competitor. That's when you under, when you when you overestimate. So you're saying there's more recon than what there actually is. Price is lower. Here comes the orange company, sweeps up the car and pays 210, which was actually the right price. We look bad because you said, Bob's, your name is Uncle Bobby pays a lot, but you paid 10 grand less than we bought. They bought the car, and I don't blame you because you hold the power. Now, reverse that. If the recon on the vehicle was noted as 20,000 and it's actually 30,000, then that it was underestimated. That buyer still has to come in for more extensive training. Now, there's an HR process that you follow after the second or third time. You can't be getting it wrong, bro. You're a professional, you're an expert in your field working for the number one dealership. You need to show up as one and produce results. So once the vehicle is matched to the PDF and there's no variation that exceeds 6,000 Rand, then the car goes through an extensive mechanical check, number plate to number plate, including a road test drive of the Red Seal mechanic to make sure that he says, sweet, everything that is picked up, control arm pushes, for example, the tie rod end that I can steering rack that's got a bit of play, whatever the thing is, only then and then only do I get to present the vehicle and present it visually with what I can see. Scratch rims, chips, dents, whatever the thing is, mostly LZ that scratches the rims, but that else.
Yeah.
So having said that, that's why I think your approach on the question was that way, and I hope I gave you guys some more insight of the things that happen in the background that we don't show, and perhaps we should. It's a good question. Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. When will you see an Alfa Romeo? When will we see an Alfa Romeo on your floor? Maybe tomorrow, because I had a gentleman reach out that's got a beautiful Alfa SUV, one of these two SUVs, and he wants to trade it in, stay around the same installment, and he wants to try out a Chinese car from China. So I said to him, brother, are you ready? Are you ready for the invasion? He said to me, I'm ready, man. So I think the appointment is for tomorrow. I'm actually quite excited. It's a pretty car. It's like the size of an X3, I think. And it's red in color as it should be. So hopefully tomorrow, man. I'm excited to see that Alpha. I know there's lots of Alpha fans out there. Yeah, I'm not much one of them, but maybe I'll. How much can I get for my H2 1.5 T? Well, okay, 45,000 kilometers, 19. Like I said in the beginning, front, back, side, license, there's kilos, data. Send it to me. I'll shoot you a price, brother. Is the BMW CI sold? CI. I think you're referring about to the 645 CI. Truth or dare, that's the username. So it's not sold yet. Tomorrow, 5:30, going on auction. Don't be. How often do new salespeople get into the industry over experienced ones? So in our company, I like to hire experienced salespeople. We've got a very strict criteria on how that selection process is done. Very strict. I want to see, do you have a Rolodex? Do you have a system? Do you have a customer database? How do you communicate with that database? How much following have you built up on social media? To me, it's important. And if you haven't built up any social media and you say, I've got such, man, I've got BBC guys born before computer, but they're 27 years old. Like, computers are not for me. Like, is money not for you? Are you freaking kidding me? You know how powerful this is. So when it comes to selecting from within the industry, strict process, but I like to create cadet to rock star. And the reason why I like doing that is because it's freaking hard. And my competitors can't do it because they don't have the process and procedures and flow that we have. We've split our sales team into three different areas, meaning three different capabilities. Tier 1 is 0 to 7. Tier 2 is 8 to 14. So if you can graduate with 15 cars 3 months in a row, then and then only you get to hang out with me, Eddie, Eugene, Spoonie, all the rock stars from Nazi. But you need to generate the skills that you need in Tier 1 before you can join Tier 2. If I send you to Tier 2 and you haven't been through Tier 1, you're a newbie, you will fail. It's like I can sign a guarantee right there in ink, boom, you will fail because you haven't stepped the process. So it's harder to do. But the advantage is there's no bad habits. There's no trade-ins disappearing and this one's getting chorcho. They used to call it a Egyptian handshake. We're moving forward and we're giving someone else a trade-in. It's ugly stuff, man. This industry is important when it comes to that. And the beauty is if you create your own team, your own culture, none of that, it's almost a cancer. It's a cancer. Comes in and poisons the rest of your team. So I like doing cadet to rockstar. It takes me a minute. It's not easy. The shortcut is just get a guy that can do the job. Come in, boom. You already got a 10 plus player. Saves you a lot of headache, but it comes at a cost, man. So yeah, that's me. I started my own dealership, Burger Smith. I started my own dealership. So mad respect. Congratulations. I wish you all the success. It's a hard industry. It's not easy what we do. And good luck, brother. And you'll make it. You must just work really, really hard. Selling my own cars and park and sell, but sales are slow. How do I generate new deals? I do advertising on Facebook and TikTok. How do I stand out from other dealers? Okay, so um, I always ask this question first before I deliver the answer to this because it's a very good question. And then I'm going to ask you, are you easily offended? And if you say to me, yes, I am, I'm going to give you the soft version of the answer, which is, these things take time. You need to be very consistent and you need to develop the skills slowly and get to work and 20-hour days and over 10 years, and it will go better. So that's the soft version. I don't like giving it, but sometimes I have to. If you say you're not easily offended, I'm going to give you the straight answer. And that is Facebook works, TikTok works, Instagram works, LinkedIn works, Twitter works, everything works. The reason why it doesn't work for you is because you're not good enough yet. And that's the key word, yet. You haven't had someone show you and someone, that's the challenge that I have today. You have people selling you courses on how to sell courses. So I'll only take advice, myself, me, Bobby. I will only take advice from someone that is beating me in the area that I'm asking advice on. For example, I walk into the gym, I see a fat person or trainer, he offers me services, I say no. If I listen to you, bro, I will end up like you. Like, why the hell would I listen to you? I don't want to be in the gym and fat. Okay. So when I was fat a few years ago and I was looking for someone to help me, I identified a person. I reached out to him. I said, listen, you look like fucking Superman. Okay? I want you to help me not look like Superman. I want you to help me with my physique, with my energy, with my mindset. I'm tired all the time, man. And I know I'm tired all the time because I'm eating crap and I'm not training. But I don't want to go there and fuck up my shoulders and my wrists and my legs and then I can't walk because I don't know how that room works. You do. You coach me 12 weeks, 30 kgs. God, 12 weeks, 30 kgs. I had people that hadn't seen me in 3 months. My parents were away to Bulgaria for 2 months. So they left just as the program really started working and I was starting to see results. And then when the results came, which was month 2 and month 3, they didn't see me. So my dad and mom saw me at 100 kilos, okay? And then they saw me at 3 months. So I went from 36% body fat to 7% body fat. I look like I look like this. I had fucking abs. I had ribs here, everything. Okay, I didn't feel good at 7%. And I told him that. He said, Pops, you can't have single digit body fat the whole entire year and run at the pace that you run and accept, the energy level can't be there. So your perfect body fat is 50%, between 12 and 15. Now that you understand how food works, how calorie intake works, and how training works, I believe that for the rest of your life, it will be between 12 and 15. And when you go to 17, you know how to get to 7. So it's easy for you to go from 17 to 12 in like this 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I go bulk, and then I reverse pop, and then I go straight. It's fun, man. It's like the one day you've got so much power in the gym, and the next day you don't because your calorie intake is lower and you're in the deficit. Exactly the same with sales. Exactly the same with Facebook. Exactly the same with marketing advertising. You need to get someone to show you who is very good at what they do, how to do it properly. It's not because the platform doesn't work. It's just because you suck for now, and then you're not good at it yet. Facebook works, bro. We sell many cars. TikTok works too well. Like some days I'm like, fuck, is this even legal, bro? Is this even legal? How are we generating 500,000 organic views per day? Some days, 500,000 else, 500,000 organic views in one day without putting a budget on it. Okay? Is this shit legal? Yes, it is. Well, how we do it is we're posting 23, 24 posts per day at strategic times. We've invested in AI to help us optimize. We've got the creative side. We've got the scripts that the team help me with. We've got the best of the best in each and every step and department. 500,000 organic views per day sometimes. But we average out on about 350 already. 350,000 people see a piece of content created by McMackBite, the Masterclass team, every day without costing us a cent. And I still spend on Facebook on targeted ads, carousel ads, retargeting strategies on our website using pixels, etc., etc. Landing pages, optimizing those landing pages. I can speak about this stuff for hours. You need to get somebody to help you become good at it. It's like, you know, a soccer ball between my legs, kicking it around with friends is worth, a sore ankle the next day and a couple of scratches and, some fun. Soccer ball in Ronaldo's legs. I watched an interview he did with the guy from England, the British guy, Piers Morgan. On Piers Morgan, he announced that he became the first billion soccer player with a B. So at my feet, sore ankles, scratch knees, fun, laughs, shibobos. I'll give you a shibobo. I'll never fucking let it go, bro. You're gonna hear about it when I'm 75. I'll give you a shibobo, but in his case, it's $1 billion activity. So hope that helps you, brother. Just you need someone that will elevate you. I want to thank Uncle Bobby Petkoff for his assistance and always being available. He is met Motors Defense. Peterson. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that comment. And thanks for sharing. Visit us at Pakisa Raceway for Bonfire Drag Racing to be hosted in April 2026. So, Saseka Travel and Adventure Detour. So, Pakisa, that name, I was very good friends with the two partners that own the dealership. They still own the dealership. And when I was coming up, man, I used to love superbikes. And they always used to put the two superbikes on the trailer. I call them, funny names. I don't want to say what I call them. Like, only these types of people carry their bikes on the trailer, ride your bike. Anyway, uh, they were the best of friends at that time. They always told me about Pakistan. and perhaps we can plan the visit, the bonfire, drag racing, and anything that turns petrol into fun. I'm in, bro. Thank you for the invite. And, perhaps we should explore it. It sounds like fun. Dino, Uncle Bobby, you are such a true gentleman, and I wish I had you as a boss. Thank you for your kind heart. I think you said kind heart. So, brother, remember what I said in the beginning of this live, and I need you to hear me now as well. And I appreciate the comment and the compliment, and I'll take it. Appreciate you a lot. You just need to become very good at your audience. So what this means is I need to have this type of energy because my aim is to exchange value. So you are exchanging your time so that I can give you with a strategy on an idea or something, a blind spot, a different lens that you never had. So that's the energy I come to in this studio, this room. Out of this situation, we're going to pack up. As soon as I jump in my car, I've got 50 missed calls, bro. The first one will go to the salesman. My energy is not the same. So the accountability conversation is, bro, you put up full cost for delivery. You did three. Like, in all honesty, the fourth car, you should have pressed harder on. Why didn't we deliver this vehicle? And then if I hear about, our team is past that. Bobs, here's what I did. I did one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. He did everything in his power possibly that could have closed the deal. No one's off the hook. I'm not saying he's on the hook. We are all on the hook. So we have a projected budget in terms of income per day as well as units per day. I can't only chase profit because the salespeople are not going to hit. We need to keep both growing. So the energy that is in that conversation is intense. And because he's in my inner circle, like I'm myself, like how did we fuck this up, man? We should have had a buyer on the road at 2 o'clock driving to Bloom to catch the car before it's dark. I had this situation a couple of days ago. No, we can't make it because it's going to be dark. Yes, because we only freaking woke up at 4 o'clock to send the buyer. Dude, we need to improve. Like, you need to serve your client better. You can't let it sleep overnight. You should have had a buyer on the road at 12 o'clock so that you can catch the sunlight. So that's the energy there. Then I'll have a different conversation with Elsie. Els, how can I improve on the score? That's a different energy as well because now she knows she's not a Yabru. So she can't say, no, you were great on the call. I'm like, fuck, that's not the answer. I need you to give me 3 mistakes that I made, key mistakes, so that I try not make them the next time. I need you to critique me. I need you to say you failed here, 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 and here. And after we leave the studio, the first call that I'm going to make after the sales manager is to Elena. Okay, she heads up this department. I'm going to say, how was the live? Like, where did I screw up? Did not compare notes. What did Elsie tell me? Okay, what did Elena tell me? She tells me like every second, third live, and I try, man. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'll improve. You spend too much time on a question. You elaborate too much, where you can deliver the value in 3 minutes. You go 13 minutes rant, and you tell 7 stories instead of answering the guy's question. But I feel there's value in the story, so we're gonna have that debate as well. Then I'm going to speak to the F&I manager. So when I left, our debtors, so the amount of contracts that we've signed, but are not paid out because there's problems on them. So problems could be, customers still need to send us insurance. The trading is not in the amount of debtors, like literally our debtors. I mean, the exact figure because it's freaking scary, man. Um, rock. We rock the world. That's what the group is called. Okay, so the amount of debtors is 4.7 billion rand worth of contracts that have been signed but can't get payout. So 4.7 million rands worth of cars are invoiced, they're no longer in our stock, but we don't have the money. And I'm going to ask, like, how is it so high? Okay, boss. For example, I'm going to give Eddie's customer, personal banker, V-Class Mercedes. We need to get the dealer stock registered and sent out to them before they can pay us because he's revving me for his car. So where's the paper? Well, we set up 2 days ago. What do you expect? I can't print the paper. The paper needs to come from the couriers, then we dealer stock, then we register everything. Then we send the driver 800,000 rand there. So when can we expect that money? If we lucky Friday, I'm like, holy shit, the papers aren't even here. Okay, cool. Next one, next one, next one. So different room, different conversation, different audience, different energy. But I appreciate the compliment, man. Thank you so much. Okay, now I lost my, I went out of that group, so I'm just going to try and pick it up where we left it off. Okay, okay, perfect. Such a true. Okay, gentleman part. Okay, thanks for the answer. I'm a business owner, so that is insightful. Thank you, Bobby. Would love to get in touch, brother. This is easy. We do these to offer you my consultation services as well. I try and give as much free value as I possibly can within the couple of minutes that I spend in each question. If you'd like to unpack something in depth, how to run a sales meeting, how to drive a manager based on what their interests are. Is it a lifestyle sales manager? Is it a lifestyle salesperson? Is it someone that wants to grow within the company in terms of title? They value that. They can lead people. They can change processes. They can do things better. Different conversation. Is it a legacy person? Got one lady in our company. The reason why today you sign everything online on your phone with your fingers because she changed the entire industry off the code. Says, no, I don't want wet signatures. I want a digital signature that is verified. So legacy person is different. But yeah, if you guys want to put me in whatever it is, marketing, strategic thinking around campaigns, whatever it is, 0825426659, and shoot me the WhatsApp that explains what you want to do. If you book me for 190-minute session, it is paid 25K. If you book me for two at 50K, you get two. Either you do it in the studio like this, recorded, multicam, great sound, packaged, sent to you so that you deliver the value to your team. You present the new ideas. You come up with the strategies on your own through me and you helping you what worked for me. That is available too. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love, brother. Okay, next one. Hey, Uncle Bobby, I have completely rebuilt the E9330D from nose to tail, motor suspension, literally everything. It's in a 10 out of 10. What would you value it, assume it's in perfect condition? Why sell it now? Keep the car. 330D, amazing car. Pure hub. Uncle Bobby, I bought a car for 115 and paid a deposit of 57, but now number plates and licenses does not belong to the car and haven't got the papers of the car. What can I do, bro? Like I feel very, very sad about what you just said to me. And I've done this 14 times. Flown stolen vehicle. It's a nightmare, brother. If you want to take this off camera, I've got a few questions. Have you bought it with finance? If you've bought it with finance, that's a good thing because there's a lot of accountability on the dealer. If you haven't bought it through finance, I'll assist you with it. I've got, I've got the solution to you. But keep your head up. I hope you bought it through finance. There's a couple of things that I'll help you with. Send me a WhatsApp, and I'm not going to answer you immediately. I need to pay 10, 15 calls. I'll answer you later tonight. Pure Hub. Just say 57K deposit, 115. Papers, license, this doesn't match. I'll pick it up from there and then we'll have a conversation. Feels like a masterclass with Patrick, but David, very informative. Boom! The best thing anyone's ever said to me. So I've been mentored by PBD on an event like this. I've been to his house. I've spent a weekend with him. He lives next to Messi, myself, and seven other people, other men from all over the world meet twice a month, 90 minutes. It's an expensive event. I joined very early, so I've got lots of other benefits outside of just having the one-on-one. But I appreciate you. I really, really value style. I really enjoy the way that challenges tactfully, but also has a line. So, together we'll take over the world, but you have to meet me halfway. And it's like the best way to lead, man. I'll, if you get shot and, you can't walk anymore and we have to swim through the ocean, at least move your eyelids, man. At least like freaking try, like help me. So appreciate you, man. That's the best compliment ever. Thank you so much. Else, we've got no more time. Thank you very much, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I appreciate you. We went hard 90 minutes. I'm sorry, there's like lots of other cool questions I couldn't get to. But I value